Hey, welcome to A Foreigner in the Philippines. This is an update on the young man that we picked up out of the road after he had come off his bike. So the background on that is that he had been drinking apparently, and he admitted to Beth that he actually fell asleep, and that's when the bike came to a halt without his control. Excuse me. So I've dealt with a lot of the comments and criticisms that came fast and furious in this from what you could see on the video. Now, we made a judgment call that was based on our experience and what we could see at the site, and no need to go into that anymore because my other video deals with that, and you'll forgive me if I'm not always totally even-tempered if I feel that people have been unfairly judgmental, and if I feel also if they are being unreal as to where we are. We're on a small island out in the Philippines, the little island of Bohol, okay, and everything is keyed on that. The nearest reasonably equipped hospital is in Ubay, and at the time we had a choice. Would we risk taking him maybe an hour, possibly an hour and a half depending, to Ubay, or would we get him fast and furious to the small ER that's in the nearby hospital? We chose Taliban, and that meant that he was sitting in a wheelchair in a very crowded emergency room in Taliban within, I don't know, I would say 6 to 10 minutes, which we thought was well worth it. I was talking to a friend today who has some experience of this, Brian, my friend, who is the foreigner farming in the Philippines. You may know him as that. And he remarked that the first hour, the golden hour apparently, is crucial for getting someone to medical help, and that's what we did. Okay, so what can we tell you that is a follow-up to that situation? Well, I had stuff to do today. I had a busy day today because we got a call early this morning about about some folks that were trapped. Not violently trapped, okay, but that were trapped by the very heavy rain and a broken down vehicle up in the village of Hope, and that's the orphanage, which some of you may know, the orphanage. So Jam called me, Jam, who has been so helpful in doing the paperwork and trying to get things moving for us on our application for a non-profit status. So this is a kind of a mixed bag of different subjects. So anyway, so I charged out early this morning and I took that road. Now, it would have been ideal if we could have taken the bus, but the road is so bad up to the village of Hope, which is way up in the mountains, that I didn't want to risk it. So we took our rattly, pain in the butt red truck, and I drove up there, and fortunately, happily, the rain stopped. It has been raining torrentially, dropped a huge amount of rain, and it was almost difficult for the little red, which is 4x4, to get out from our house. We got down to, well, I got down, I went by myself because we needed the space in the truck, which comfortably seats, well, uncomfortably seats 4 people in the back, with a limited weather covered. But anyway, I struggled to get out, got out by using the 4x4, and we got the people up to Trinidad. On my way back from Trinidad, I had to pass the hospital where we dropped that young man off. So I passed it first thinking, well, I don't really know him, don't speak the language, what will I do? But I turned back because I wanted to know how he was. So turned back, went to the hospital, went into the emergency room. They sent me somewhere else. I went somewhere else. They sent me somewhere else. And eventually I was standing at the desk at the nurse's station on, I think, the second floor, and trying to explain that I had come to see a motorcycle accident victim whose name I didn't know, and as I was trying to explain that, lo and behold, the family of the young man were standing next to me and offered their thanks and took me to see him. Now, this is where you people who were so panic-stricken, I know with the best of intention about his condition. Now, when we saw him at the site of the scene of the accident, not the site, the scene of the accident, we actually had to make a judgment call. And based on the fact that the last time that we'd used an ambulance, we couldn't use the one that was at the hospital, the one that is at the hospital, we had to go to a private hospital, which is more of a charity. And in order to use the ambulance, it was out of gas, and we had to enable the driver to go and buy gas. So we did that. Now, knowing that that's the situation, and knowing that the first hour is very important, we actually made that judgment call. And in doing so, we came in for a lot of criticism, which we feel was unfair. Now, that's my wife saying "oh," which means yes in Visayan. So we made that judgment call, and we got him there within 6 to 10 minutes. He was in the hospital, in a wheelchair, being treated because that was the only place for him, because it just happened, Murphy's Law, all of the beds in that tiny little ER were all taken. Well, I went to see him today. He's there. Now, when I saw him immediately after the accident, here on the forehead, he'd obviously been hit there, and there was quite a swelling on the forehead and some minor abrasions on the side, some minor abrasions on here, and he needed stitches in the back of his head. So I asked him, "How are you doing?" "I'm doing good." Were there any complications in here? No. No complications, no inside worries, concerns. He's not in any kind of pain, apparently. I imagine that he's been given a painkiller for whatever he was on, part of which must have been a hangover, because when we picked him up, he'd had a few drinks. That's life, isn't it? So we dealt with the situation that we know is here. So please forgive us if we don't do it the way that you would do it wherever you are in your civilized world. We are here, as I say, on a small island, the island of Bohol, and it is not the same kind of infrastructure which you enjoy if you are in the UK or America, Germany, wherever it is that you are. It's different here. You have to understand that. And a lot of the comments, I can just sense that many of the comments are obviously based on knowing about us from maybe 1 or 2 videos. Please look at more than 1 or 2 videos before you try to get a handle on what we are and what we do. It's not how it may look on one video. You need to educate yourself. Can you wait? You need to educate yourself more about who and what we are, and I promise you it will be worth it. Right now, as you probably heard, I'm being called to dinner, and so I will leave off here. Thank you so much for your continued support. We are now roaring uphill. I can tell you, well, it seems like it's a runaway train downhill towards 70,000 subscribers. It's incredible. It's been so exciting. It's been thrilling. It's been everything. And we are empowered to do what we are by the subscribers. That's you. All nearly 70,000 of you. This is a foreigner in the Philippines. Please like, comment, subscribe. Bye for now.